out there. Volatility drying up near the end of the week here on a Friday. We're coming to a drifty halt. Some guy made a comment on my video saying that he watched 20 seconds of the video and he was in pain, so he stopped the video. I don't know what that meant. Of course, he deleted the comment, so people don't realize when you post a comment and I hope I didn't fuck the recorder up here. I just pulled on the wires. That when you post a comment like that, it is still available to me because I'm in the. It's hanging in my. Because it's my channel. It's suspended there until maybe the next day. And I just don't know what that means. I don't know what people are saying, but having so-called trolled the no-nonsense channel with all their ridiculousness. But people do love that idea of just riding along in the bus. So, let's see. And then there was the comment about the what an indicator is, you know. I don't know what he's trying to say there. That either no nonsense or I don't know what an indicator is. Somebody, he says he doesn't know what an indicator is, so that must, I don't know what that reference is, but so here I gotta go find one of my brokers here. I was trying to do arbitrage here. Coming up on 2 p.m. So look at this tick chart. It just got all wackadoodle because it's the top of the hour in a few seconds. Here's the other broker with a completely different slant on the data. If you see these tick charts match, look at this. Look at this beautiful pullback. I just put in some buy limits. 15-minute buy limits. I'm going to throw some more in here real quick. 4 pips deep. 5. I'm just going to throw these all in now. So I was up $40 just a few minutes. Just a minute. See, the top of the bottom of the hour is so critical. And this is Yellen's. I'm sorry. Who is ever the federal chair is speaking right now? It's not FOMC, but somebody's talking. And that's why we're seeing this movement. But that's fine. I want to get in a bigger position. So I picked up a few K here. I was in $81 of margin, 501 leverage. So both these brokers out of the same place, way out in the ocean, if you know what I mean. Look at this beautiful pullback. We just added to this, and we got a nice top bottom there. Here's the other. Here is the little wider spread broker. It looks like there's more people at this brokerage. We're getting more detail in the tick chart because of it. It's a tighter spread. Just kind of looking at it, maybe I have to stretch this out to make it fair. Oh shit! Careful how you grab these. It's kind of hard to manipulate. Okay, it looks more fair this way. They both have the same kind of tallness. All right, let me see here. So here's a way to get an edge. Find the fastest broker and put your trade on the slow broker. We get a little bit more of a signal here, so to speak, a little bit more dimension to the data. If you're in really big, it's nice to see maybe another tick chart for confirmation as far as the whole world views this euro dollar. And you'll actually get different prices. If I turn on the one-click trading here, this is cheaper, technically. I mean, on the bids, slightly cheaper here when the spread changes. See how the prices are different. I was just reading the reviews on some of these brokers and people that have never traded. The one guy is so cute. He says, "Oh yeah, I put $100 in there, and then like out of nowhere, all of a sudden I woke up and the balance was down like this." And It's the cutest review I've ever seen. He doesn't have a clue that the market's going up and down. He's in a position and he doesn't realize that it's fluctuating. And it's somehow the broker's ripping him off. It turned around out of nowhere. He said literally, all of a sudden, I think he put it, all of a sudden, I've got like negative $10 in there. And then he said he sent a message in to see if they were going to like rectify the situation. And we're trying to pick up these arrows here on the plunge. So you can see how the 30-minute breakout bot would have won. I think the 30-minute breakout bot was only triggered once during a trade here also. When I say that, I mean that is, I'm just using that when I say robot. I'm calling that a trade, so-called trade strategy or method. Mechanical trading. Look at the small thing, and then bam. Well, it kind of bam down, and then the news, and then she starts talking. So I'm going to lay some more track out in front. I can handle a 28 pip sell-off at this point and absorb and add to my position. Now I'm at $94. Very light. Very hard to blow up the account. So once you get the account up pretty big, I was watching the. I'm a big fan. I must say, I'm gonna have to put a link to the Pip Society guy. I don't know if he's a different brother, but this guy is killing it. Now he's got the account up to like 60 grand or some shit, and it's been a week. He traded naked, pretty big 6 standard lots, then 10, then 6. He added 2. He went against, he went contrarian. And made a lot of money. And then he's backed off, kind of trading with stops lightly. Doing pretty good. And just trade, just no indicators, not even anything. Not what not as, I don't know. I mean, he is saying, oh, give me $100 a month and $99 a month. You can sign up for. I wouldn't sign up. I'm just saying, look at how he's able to put on the simplest trades. Selling the high at last, selling around resistance. What is resistance? The high of the day is resistance, right? So they take it out and start going north. Look at it, we almost got $100 of margin going here. Didn't even have to pull the trigger at the market. Everything I laid was in front of it. The is it Janet Yellen? I don't even know. Or is it Bernstein still running? Bernanke still running? Who's ever at the helm? And then they make a comment, and people really, well, look at that. And then all of a sudden this comment changed, so that's why the buyers came in. Really? You really think that's what's going on here? It's been going up since, so I got long down here at the bottom. I wonder if this 4-hour chart is different. I don't think so. They're from the same place, these brokers. Different tick charts. I like the one on the bottom. I think there's more trading. There's more zigzags than the one on the bottom. So that's my preferred tick chart. They get ahead of each other behind. They could get you could get a whole screen of these going. Okay, so that's that pullback. Now it is 2 o'clock. She's speaking. What's it been, 5 minutes here? I can't get my clock to come up on this computer. I just ran out of memory or something on the computer. It's 5 after. Okay, that was it. Big stop hunt here. Big crash through the floor. Look at how it went sideways, kind of anticipating her speech. Kicked up the volatility, the breakout strategy with the proper target has made money here. Got sell stops stacking up, buy stops stacking up. It's going to be different data on the other broker too. If I go to this one, go to the 5-minute chart, I'm going to see different prices. It's not going to be the exact same terrain. Pretty close. That's the bid only. So if you like candles, I'm running candles on this one, and I'm running my version was a kind of a non-directional candle, big wicks, and a line chart showing me closing prices. Let's see if I can cue this up. Let's see side by side. Alrighty then. And then I want to click on this, which will bring up the tick chart. Or just let it go. Alright, back up $22. So picked up some more tickets. Pretty hard to blow up the account at this point, and you have to keep hitting the button every half hour if you're running half-hour scripts and you want to keep a continuous exposure and ride along with the waves, all rogue waves included. You're riding along with the wave, you're throwing tickets, you're front-running the market, either above or below or both, and you also have the market orders. Now the stop orders I would use on the, I'm going to go to sleep, I don't want to babysit it. If they go lower and break out, the breakout strategies to me only work in Asia. They only work when the market's consolidated and it can break out. Like, the breakout strategies don't work too good when the market's smashing around and there's news out. Obviously, that's a ridiculous approach to the market. Come on. Now, you can, I did make money doing it once, but I only traded one direction, and I had 3 pairs in front of me, and the news came out, and it was wild. It was just wild. And I wanted to see if I could do it, like if I could literally trade, and if the broker's going to honor the trade. So they did. And I don't know if there was slippage or not, because they didn't go back to do any forensics on all the trades. To me, it looked like it was pretty fair, considering that I was getting stopped out. My ratios were set to make it so that overall I should make money. And it was pure buy stop. 3 currencies. Well, they're all the euro. Euro to the pound, euro to the dollar, euro to the yen. And I stand there with all 3 vertically placed. They're all like 5-minute charts, kind of compressed so I could see back about 4 hours on each chart. I just sat there with my finger on hotkeys and I traded it, and it was a blast. I don't know if it's really worth it. I mean, even though I didn't make that much money because I was up a lot more at certain points than I finally finished after the volatility dried up and the market calmed down, and the news wasn't, really creating volatility, or just all the traders weren't, that were jumping on the wagon there. Plus, it's Friday, so it could still plunge here again. I don't think I'm going to hurt the account here. Even if they filled this whole thing and blew out this bank, I'd probably lose about $150 right now. But if I let this thing just go into the end of the day, I may be up $70. I could get out, or I could just hold it over the weekend, which I probably won't, because when Sunday opens, then come back in. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have to keep running these on Sunday. Come back on Sunday night because it's a fresh week, and I just don't really think it's going to be hard to get involved in a trade. So somebody sent me a thing talking about accounts, brokers. First you got to get the demo going and make sure your scripts run with that broker, or make sure you can feel comfortable, and then you might put money in that broker, but you got to get the demos going. And you just have to, you're not going to buy a $5,000 guitar amplifier if you don't really need it. Like if somebody asked you to come do a recording and you wanted to create a certain tone that you were known for, then you would buy an amplifier with a specific tonality, and you would practice with it, and you'd try to contour and come up with something. Otherwise, what are you going to do? Just strum like everybody else? Or are you going to strum just open, like just everything is fucking full? We know people like that. They play every note the same velocity. What's the point? Where's the dynamics? So the market's dynamic. Are you dynamic? Can you adjust to dynamics? If you're not, then you're going to have to join the no-nonsense group, where you sit in front of a dashboard and it says, and you hear a bell go off, and that means you should do a certain trade. Or you're going to build a robot, and you're not going to even watch this shit. You got some piece of shit robot that's churning away 10% a month. Oh, that's great. I'm sure that's doable. And of course, then you would say, well, why don't we just put $1 billion in that? Okay, what is having a bad month? What if it loses 5%? Now all of a sudden you just lost a lot of money. So it's always about money. It's not about percentage, rate of return. I mean, these are ridiculous things to say. If you've got a lot of money, so if you notice, if you looked at enough brokers, I just looked at about 50 brokers in my life. I've dug through their how they constructed their thing, and typically once your account, you could put $1,000 in there and you're at 1,001 leverage, but then once you get your account up to 10,000, you can't trade with 1,001 leverage. They start backing it down so you don't blow it up. But then I've seen other brokers that the bigger your account is, the more leverage they give you. We'll start you off a little bit, and then so everybody has a different. There is no one place to go, and this guy's asking, do you have a low fee? Is it low spreads? Okay, that's all fluctuating, and a swing trader really wouldn't care about the spread because he's not near it. A scalper would care about the spread because he's right on top of it all day long. And the commissions. So if it's zero commissions, it's going to be widespread. If it's high commissions, you won't even see the spread. When they say spreads from 0 and up, and if you watch those brokers that have a 1 pip round turn fee, they're sitting at like fucking 0 for like 10 seconds. You could pull the trigger. And it's pretty hard to argue with that, but you're pulling the trigger with a hidden fee. So do you want to see the fee, or do you want to just pay no commissions and have a bad spread? Well, most people would like to pay commissions and have a tight spread because they look at the chart. If they're looking at the chart and they're saying, holy shit, man, I'm just like, look at that. God damn it. I mean, I'm getting the worst entries. But if you're paying the commission and you just know every time you pull the trigger it's a half a pip, that's not so bad. 2 trigger pulls, it's $1. It's 10 cents. It's $1. It's $10. And then you're just focused on the chart more, and you can look at the 5-minute chart and see, wow, I'm up on this trade. Visually, you can tell that you've overcome the spread. Where if you go trade some, and the other thing was this guy. We don't even know what currency he was trading. Because the spread could have got wide. I think what's suspect that happens to these people, they get in these trades, and here comes 5 p.m., and the spread gets tremendous. I mean, I'm talking 60 pips on the British pound for just a nanosecond. And yeah, he's like, well, they took me out of the trade. I'm like, you think? He probably didn't have a stop. He ran out of margin. Really, it took you out. Dude, you have no idea. I mean, if you were in a commodity account, they would have knocked on your door and they would have sued you. The server's taking you out, so pretty good. This one's, I got the scale fixed on here, so I can really do a stretch. Oh, look at this standard deviation ATR. God, I love that standard deviation. This is the canned algorithm with Bollinger Bands, of course. Don't forget the trusty Bollinger Bands, people. Set at, another 20. Who built this amazing algo template? 20 standard deviation with the 20 Bollinger Band. And I like the 14 ATR because, Wells Wilder, the king of RSI, ATR, what else? Support, stop and reverse, parabolic charts. God, Wells Wilder busted his ass. I had I don't have the original book of that, but there was, you can see the one that called Technical Analysis. This is the Bible, first Old Testament, so to speak. Wells Wilder, New Concepts in Technical Analysis, it's called. Okay, so, and just really, just crude charts, hand done, I think. Look at this beautiful double bottom here. We're nailing this currency here. So we didn't make our $10,000. We make it to 7,400 here. Trading's not hard. Watch Pip Society guy trade. Man, he just doesn't care. It's just beautiful how he doesn't care. So we're just gonna ride the storm out here into the end of the week. I'll be getting out of everything. A little scalp. We made a little money on this. I wanted to show the trade I put on last night. Like I said, I didn't really want to trade the yen, but the yen trade worked out. And it would have worked out today had you put in your orders before the news came out, or earlier, the jobs report. You can see how the auction, or the unfair value, when we came down here, if these orders last all day, see the targets are here. So, we all knew that this was the big turnaround. Anybody that has a chart selling from here all the way up, and look at that, all the way back here and back to this top, back to fair value of this range, the middle of the road. Here's unfair. We buy down here. So you could have done this trade, or you could have done the euro. This was definitely pretty good because you made a nice 40 pips on that. Just from one ticket. You don't have to do all these tickets, but what do you put a buy here, a bigger buy here, and the biggest buy here? See how this is the ultimate entry, and here would have been the ultimate entry, but we never made it there. So you have to be able to afford to buy here, here, and here, because this one is eventually a winner, and maybe you got 60 pip stops to make 90 pips or whatever it is. So here we're tearing north, and we're just gonna let that go. This is here. I'm not in this. It's funny, they're both moving up together now, right? So this correlation is not happening. I'm just gonna ride. Hopefully, I'm gonna cash out of something from my pendings. I'm gonna one take profit up here. I'm not sure. Is that a? There's probably not too many take profits. This is not a very big sell-off. I'm buying like 4, 5, 7, 12 pips deep here. Okay, so we filled all the way to here. So here was where you want to buy the most, because you have the biggest reaction from this basement. This 15-minute floor. Look at the reaction we get here. That's because of all the tickets, all that non-charted area, and this would have been another place we haven't seen. We know there's sellers here. We could get out of everything here, or whatever we're up on, and then we could throw in limits, which I would. The way to play it is, if you're in a buy-only system like this, the sellers are coming here, so you go flat, or you cash out at whatever winners, and maybe leave a few losers behind, because some of these are right here is the price. Then you immediately put in buy limits all over again and capture another possible sell-off. What is the probability that the market, once it comes up here and traps these goobers, that it comes below here, right? This is supposed to be where the sellers come in and take it down. No, you want to get in here and hold it, or just keep buying every pullback under this floor. You are now unfair. You go crushing back through. No sellers come in. You engulf. You almost make it to here, but you don't. So the 1 hour breakout traders are like, well, we gotta do this trade. This is a nice. We back tested breakouts and they work. Do breakouts work? Do you need to back test them? Well, you can just see them on this chart, I hope. The back testing. Stop. Well, we back tested that for 5 years. That's another reason why no nonsense has his head so far up his ass. He's like, well, I back tested that for 5 years. Dude, you don't even trade. You don't even trade. He's already in real estate. He's got this. He's like Achilles Stokes. He trades for like a little bit. Nibbling. It's a nosh, Okay, sellers are going to come in right at this top. So we could cash out here of all this stuff and everything from below from this morning. I'd be at $24 up. I'd be underwater on these top tickets. So what I would do is I would go flat now, and then I put buy limits like this. Okay, so I'm just going along with whatever the market will give me. I don't have a hard target. I don't have a hard stop. Just never felt comfortable having to decide the rest of my life in 2 hours of staring at the charts and the indicators. Okay, well, I've done my checklist. Let's see, my baseline is what now? But the Pip Society guy got a 200 moving average. He's just going balls in. Okay, so here we're going to ride this to here. Now I do have the option. It is logical to get the fuck out here, come back in with the buy limit, so I'm going to do that. We know there's a ton of sellers here, unless we just go rocketing right through. Because Janet Yellen or Janet Epstein, what's his name? Janet Bernanke. Right, it's kind of like one of those Bruce Jenner situations. Gender dysphoria. That is the Federal Reserve dysphoria. Let's just get out here. So I got my finger on the trigger of close all positions per symbol, which is the very bottom one. I'm going to click it to highlight. If I double click, it's going to take me out of everything. So I can either sit here and babysit, wait for my exit, or I could drag all the take profits to that level, but since they're not there, I will have to babysit this. Or I just come back here in a half an hour and see where we're at. That's the other option. So there's no guarantee that we're even going to make it to here, but I know if this is a resistance, which I suppose support becomes resistance, this was the pivot, this top became a bottom. A little choppy, you can't get party started, got a triple top on the the 1 minute line chart. We got lack of volatility, we get a triangle, and then we just spill out of it, crush down, come back to where the party started, where this top became a bottom, retest. It's almost like this is support and this is resistance. I'm just saying. So in about bottom of the hour, 5 minutes away. So right at the bottom of the hour, I think I'm going to cash out everything, throw some limits in, and so we got 5 minutes left. 5 minutes of trading left here for me. I'm just gonna, like I said, that's my target. I'm getting out. We could keep going up. I don't really want to hold onto anything, and I just want to show the example of a baby trade, so to speak. This could easily be a 4-hour chart, and if it was, you're getting in like this, like 10 pips apart, and then something here you had to scalp to here. You had to get out of something there, and then maybe you reloaded the gun here, but now you're probably ready to get out. You make 40% instead of the 60% if you stay to here, and on and on. The nice thing about the market is nobody knows where it's going on a tick-by-tick basis. It's too erratic. Even if it's going there, it's not going a straight line. It could always come back, crush down, wick out all the fucking stops, and then keep going, and then really go because it's got fuel. This is what the story of the banks have to. They need more people on board, so they got to go grab your tickets. It's whatever your story is for that. You think that the snow fairies make it snow? Maybe, I don't know. See right there, we could have bailed right there. See how that was? We knew the sellers were above this, right? But how powerful are they? And almost so now I feel like, let's buy more. Let's buy more right now. I can see where the sellers came in, and I told you if I would have got out at any point along the way here, I would have put buy limits in. So why not put them in now? Try to get the sizing right. Here, I'm going to put these singles in. 3 pips deep. All these to different stops and different take profits. I got 20 to make 40, 10 to make 12. Then I'm going to come in another pip deep, 4 pips. Here's 5 pips. So the singles is almost impossible to blow up the account with these singles, especially if there's a ticket limit for your broker. So you've got yourself your own kind of, putting a lock on the fridge if you weigh like 5 bills. People are like, well, I know what I'll do. I'll just put a lock in the fridge and I'll just eat the combination. 8 hours here. We don't have 8 hours left, but so that's what I do. Now I'm just going to stay until the end of the day in this trade. We got 3 minutes left at the bottom of the hour. So we could come down here. We could get a nice top bottom. At the end of this 5 minutes, we could sit right there. And then consolidate one more bar and then start marching here. Or we're going to blow this out. We're eventually going to keep weaseling down. There's only a few scenarios there. Bar by bar. So what if we come after this? What if we come down all the way to here? And then there's more buyers on the train because, we had to go manipulate. The market makers want to take it down here and crush all the retail guys, right? Is it going to go in a straight line down there? I'm going to think no. Although this did. Nearly, except for there is some. Don't forget there's that wick there. I mean, the clothesline looks beautiful, but they did wick up into the floor. So for the bears, they're waiting for the comeback breakout. Confirmation is selling here back into the floor. You got to be pretty quick on that 5-minute chart to play that game where a bottom becomes a top. Yeah, it did here for it just tapped that for a second, but then it closed down and then it kept crushing. And by the time a lot of people are maybe selling here because they got, I'm waiting for a down bar. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard on these videos. People are like, well, it's rolling over. Well, I'm going to wait for this to close down and I'm going to sell. Then they sell. Then they move their stop to here, and then they move the stop to here, and then they get stopped out here, and they only make this much money. Well, I didn't lose. Shut up. I didn't lose. I get it, but look at this structure. You have a buy limit sitting here. They just stop hunted this 5-minute thing. It is now 1 minute before the bottom of the hour. We're going to update this 5-minute chart. Are you looking at this for confirmation to stay in the trade? Or are you looking for, we should sell. I'm going to wait for this to close down. Then it confirms that my moving average, don't forget, I got a moving average here. It came up here. So then, I only do it after the ATR is 1% of the size of my small whatever. And, this kind of ridiculous, well, did you look at the moon phases? Yeah, I know. That's another guy's out there trading all astrology signs. Well, it depends what sign you are. That depends what kind of... Don't you understand any... They have to teach you everything about trading. If you're trading the planetary alignments, it depends what your sign is when you pull the trigger. Duh. Let's explain everything. Look, they might film me. So I'm going to put in the same trade plan. I'm going to put in 3 pips deep again. 15 minutes. 4 pips. Okay. I'm trying to balance out this ebb and flow here and just get the sizing. I don't want to buy any at the market. So a lot of people's once we filled this, enough people in there to sell it and pull it back for 5 minutes. Come back to the structure. I kind of trying to build a creeper gear channel here, maybe back into here. It's going to take some time. It just goes on and on. 5-minute charts, good place to trade at the market. And if you really want to work hard, every time it comes here, buy. This is that's a bottom because when it's up here, that is a bottom. You don't need Williams fractals to show you that this is a zig from this sag, and we could retest that. So you just buy there. You don't need no Fibonacci. Come on. Double top becomes a bottom. Top becomes a bottom. 5 minutes ago, you bought at the market right there. You have to. If you're a structure trader, you have to. Okay, now we're looking to go to here, and then I'll be out. So that's my system. In a so-called nutshell, that is it. So it's my short update here. Let's take a look at that other tick chart. Oh, fuck, I lost it. Anyways. You see what I'm saying? Everybody understands, right?